This is a Panasonic Lumix GH4 camera. This was a legendary video camera back in the day and it still holds up really well today considering its age. On this one though, the touch function has stopped working. It still takes pictures and still shoots video, but the touchscreen's completely unresponsive. So in this video I'm going to be fixing it. In every GH4 I've seen where the LCD has stopped working, it's been down to a bad flex cable. I got this replacement on AliExpress for a couple of euros and it should hopefully get the camera back to fully working order. Obviously, whenever you open electronics, there's a chance you could break something. So if this is a repair you're thinking of doing yourself, I'd recommend just watching the video through first to see if it's something you'd feel confident doing. To open the camera, we'll need a JIS size 00 screwdriver. You can get by with a Phillips head, but there is a greater risk of stripping the screws, so I'd really recommend picking up a JIS set if you can find one. I'll link to this set on Amazon down below. The first step is to turn the camera off, then open the battery door and take out the battery. Now, looking inside the battery door, we need to remove this screw next to the battery contacts. This screw is quite hard to remove, so I wrapped a rubber band around the screwdriver for extra grip and added a small magnet to make it easier to lift the screw out. Next, we need to remove the eye cup by sliding it straight up. Underneath, there are 4 screws to be removed, indicated by the red circles. Now we need to remove this screw securing the diopter adjustment wheel for the EVF. With that screw gone, the wheel itself can just be lifted off. Next, on the left side, we've got 3 screws to be removed. And on the other side, around the memory card door, there are 3 more screws. Then on the bottom, there are 4 screws surrounding the tripod mount hole. And there's 1 more screw here to the left of the tripod mount. And finally, opening the memory card door reveals 2 more screws hidden away inside. Now with all the screws removed, we can begin to separate the 2 halves of the camera. I'm just working my way around each edge, gently pulling the back away from the front. We can't separate the 2 halves completely yet, because there are still 2 flex cables connecting the buttons and the screen to the motherboard. To release these, flip up the locking tab and then slide the cable straight back out of its connector parallel to the board. Now the back of the case along with the screen can be lifted away. To access the screen, we need to remove these 6 screws securing this plastic cover. The 2 silver screws were also holding on the hinge covers, so these can now be removed and the plastic cover can be lifted off. There are 2 screws holding on the hinge. When we take these off, there's a small metal washer under each one. These are very small, so be careful not to lose them. Now the smaller connector on the flex cable can be disconnected by pulling it straight back out of its socket. Then the entire cable can be slid to the side out of the slot in this plastic cover and then fed through the hole in the rear case. Now we can unwind the cable from the hinge. When I did this, the cable immediately snapped, which explains why the touchscreen wasn't working. It must have been damaged already and now it's broken completely. To open up the screen assembly, we've got 2 screws here on the top. Then there are another 2 screws on the bottom. And finally, if we turn the hinge to the side, there are 2 more screws hidden away underneath. Now we can insert a pry tool into the gap around the edge of the screen assembly to release the clips that are still holding it closed. Now we can rotate open the back cover and disconnect the flex cable from the board by flipping up the retaining flap and sliding the cable backwards out of its connector. Be careful when doing this as there's still another small flex cable connecting the front and back of the screen. With the cable disconnected, the hinge can be lifted out. To open the plastic cover on the hinge, insert a thin pry tool into the gap to release the clips. Then the two sides can be separated and the hinge can be lifted out. Be careful not to lose this magnet. If I unwind the old flex cable, we can see exactly where it broke. Now it's time to fit the new flex cable. Looking at the old cable, we can see that it's folded over right here. So we need to make the same fold on the new cable so that it fits through the gap in the hinge cover. There are two indentations on the new cable that show where the bend needs to be. It doesn't need to be a hard crease, as that could damage the traces inside. It just needs to be curved enough to fit through the hole in the hinge. Then the cable can be placed on the hinge like this and wrapped around 3 times. The hinge can then be placed back inside the housing, being sure not to trap the cable in the end. Then the other side of the hinge cover can be put back on, with the coiled part of the cable going through the hole in the side, and then the two pieces pressed together until they click into place. Now it's time to replace the hinge inside the screen and attach the flex cable to the connector. I've just put something behind the back part of the screen here to prop it up because it's still connected to the front by a flex cable. I'm just pushing the end of the cable into the connector using my fingernail as far as it will go, and then close the retaining flap to hold it in place. Now the screen can be closed and then pressed down along each edge until the clips lock back into place. Now the flex cable needs to be wrapped around the hinge a couple of times. Then it can be fed through this hole on the back of the case and the screen put back into position. Here on the other side, we've got to replace this plastic cover, feeding the flex cable through the slit in the middle and then pressing it back down into place. These two holes in the cable fit over these two pins on the back of the case to hold it in place. Now the hinge screws can be replaced, making sure to replace the metal washers before screwing them down. With that done, the small flex connector can be plugged back into its socket on the back of the case. I'm just using my fingernail here to push it in as far as it will go. Now this plastic cover can be replaced, and we'll start with replacing the two silver screws since they also hold on the hinge covers. I'm holding the lower hinge cover in place with my left hand while using my right hand to replace the screw. Once that's done, we can do the same with the top hinge cover. Just put it into position, then turn it over and hold it in place while I replace the screw. Now we'll replace the screws around the edge of the screen assembly. There are 2 on the top edge, 2 on the bottom edge, and then if we rotate the screen, there's 1 on either side. Now we can replace the remaining 4 screws in the plastic cover. Next, we need to reattach the 2 flex cables from the back of the case to the motherboard. The larger flex cable, the orange one, needs to be bent like this. Again, it shouldn't be a hard crease, just a gradual bend. Then it can be slid into the socket on the motherboard, and once it's all the way in, close the retaining flap to hold it in place. Then the smaller flex cable on the other side of the board can be slid into place as well, pushed all the way in, and then close the retaining flap. So that's everything done. Now we just need to close the case and replace all the screws. I'm just gently sliding the 2 halves of the camera together and then working my way around each edge to push them fully closed. Now we can replace the exterior screws, beginning with these 3 on the side of the camera below the mic port. Next, these 3 screws on the other side of the camera by the SD card slot. Then inside the SD card slot though, we've got these screws to be replaced. Here on the bottom of the camera we need to replace 4 screws around the tripod mount. Then to the left we need to replace this screw. Now the diopter adjustment wheel can be put back into position, and this screw can be replaced to hold the wheel in place. Next, there are 4 screws on the back of the EVF. Then the eye cup can be slid back into place over the top, pushing it down until it clicks. And finally we've got one last screw down inside the battery compartment. With that replaced, it's time to attach a lens, install a battery and a memory card, and check if the camera is working and whether the touchscreen is fixed. So turning the camera on, it does power on, I can focus, and I can now choose a focus point by tapping the screen. And it also works in the menus. So the touchscreen is fixed, and all it took was an hour of my time and a €2 cable from AliExpress. I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. That's it for now, thanks for watching.